The silence that leads to wealth. Introduction. There is a kind of silence that changes your life. Not the silence that comes from having nothing to say. Not the silence of fear. Not the silence of weakness. But the silence of someone who has finally realized that their future is too valuable to be explained to everyone. There are people who talk about every plan before they execute it. They announce what they are going to build. They tell people how much money they are going to make. They reveal every business idea. They show every small success. They explain every move. And sometimes, without realizing it, they give away something extremely valuable. Their focus. Because the moment you start seeking approval for your goals, your attention can shift from building your future to proving yourself to other people. But wealthy people often understand something different. They understand that not everything needs to be announced. Some goals need silence. Some investments need patience. Some sacrifices need to remain invisible. Some victories are better enjoyed privately. And some seasons of your life require you to disappear from the noise so you can build something that speaks for itself. Imagine planting a seed. You put it into the ground. You don't dig it up every morning to show everyone that it is growing. You water it. You protect it. You give it time. And eventually, what was invisible beneath the ground becomes impossible to ignore above it. Your life can work the same way. Build quietly. Learn quietly. Save quietly. Invest quietly. Improve quietly. And let your results make the announcement. Because sometimes, the loudest evidence of success is not what you say. It is what your life eventually becomes. Chapter 1. Stop announcing your every move. One of the most powerful forms of silence is learning when not to explain yourself. You don't need to tell everyone what you are planning. You don't need to announce every new goal. You don't need to tell people that you are about to change your life. You simply need to change it. Think about a person who decides to become financially disciplined. On Monday, they announce, "I'm going to save money. I'm going to start investing. I'm going to become successful." They tell friends. They post online. They talk about their future business. Everyone knows what they are planning. But 3 weeks later, nothing has changed. Why? Because talking about the future can sometimes create the emotional satisfaction that should have come from actually building it. You feel like you have accomplished something because you have announced it. But announcement is not achievement. Talking is not building. Planning is not execution. And intention is not results. There is a powerful psychological difference between saying, "I am going to become successful," and quietly waking up every morning and doing the work required to become successful. The first gives you attention. The second gives you progress. So stop announcing every move. Let your actions become your communication. When you have a business idea, work on it. When you have a financial goal, pursue it. When you want to develop a skill, practice it. When you want to change your life, change your habits. You don't need an audience for every step. Sometimes the best audience is your future self. Chapter 2. Silence protects your focus. Your attention is one of your most valuable assets. Money can be earned again. Time cannot. And attention, once scattered, is difficult to recover. Imagine trying to build a business while constantly checking what everyone thinks about your decisions. One person says you're wasting your time. Another says your idea will fail. Someone else tells you to do something completely different. Another person compares you to someone who is already successful. Suddenly, instead of building, you're reacting. Instead of thinking, you're defending. Instead of progressing, you're explaining. This is why silence can protect your focus. When you stop inviting everyone into your plans, you reduce the number of voices competing for control of your mind. You become more intentional. You think more clearly. You make decisions based on your goals instead of people's reactions. There is a reason many successful people become extremely protective of their time. They understand that every distraction has a cost. Every unnecessary conversation can consume energy. Every argument can steal concentration. Every comparison can weaken confidence. So learn to ask yourself, does this conversation move me closer to the life I want? If the answer is no, you don't always need to participate. Sometimes silence is not avoidance. Sometimes silence is strategy. Chapter 3. Stop showing people your money. One of the most important financial lessons is simple. Looking wealthy is not the same as becoming wealthy. A person can have expensive clothes, a beautiful car, an impressive phone, and an expensive lifestyle while having very little financial security. Another person can look ordinary while quietly building savings, investments, businesses, and assets. The difference is often invisible. Imagine two people receiving the same income. Person A immediately upgrades their lifestyle. New clothes, new phone, expensive restaurants, constant entertainment. They want people to know they are doing well. Person B continues living below their means. They save. They invest. They learn. They build skills. Nobody notices. 5 years later, Person A may have an impressive lifestyle but little financial freedom. Person B may have something much more valuable. Options: the ability to handle emergencies, the ability to invest, the ability to start a business, the ability to walk away from bad opportunities, the ability to control their time. That is the difference between appearing rich and building wealth. Real wealth doesn't always need to be visible. Sometimes wealth looks like restraint. Sometimes wealth looks like saying no. Sometimes wealth looks like driving an ordinary car while your money is quietly working somewhere else. Don't spend your money trying to convince people that you have money. Use your money to create a future where you don't need to convince anyone. Chapter 4. Learn in silence. There is another kind of silence that creates wealth. The silence of learning. Before people become experts, they are beginners. Before entrepreneurs build successful companies, they spend countless hours learning. Before investors make intelligent decisions, they study. Before financially successful people understand money, they make mistakes and learn from them. But many people want to look intelligent before they become knowledgeable. They want to speak before they understand. They want to teach before they have practiced. Don't be afraid to enter a season where you know very little. Be humble enough to learn. Read. Study. Ask questions. Observe. Take notes. Practice. Make mistakes. Improve. You don't need to prove that you are smart. You need to become better. Think of an athlete preparing for a major competition. Most of the work happens when nobody is watching. The early mornings. The repetition. The training, the failures, the discipline, the boring routines. Nobody celebrates every practice session. But eventually the results appear. Your financial education works the same way. Learn quietly until your understanding becomes powerful. Chapter 5. Stop seeking validation. One of the biggest obstacles to wealth is the desire to impress people. You buy something because people will notice. You choose a career because people will respect it. You spend money because you want to appear successful. You make decisions because you want approval. But here's the problem. You can become financially poor while trying to look socially successful. The desire for validation is expensive. You don't need to prove that you're successful. You need to become successful. And those are two completely different goals. If you live for applause, you will constantly spend your resources maintaining an image. But if you live for progress, you become comfortable making decisions that other people may not understand. Maybe you save while your friends spend. Maybe you study while others party. Maybe you work on a business while others laugh at the idea. Maybe you reject opportunities that look impressive but don't align with your goals. That requires confidence. You must become comfortable with being misunderstood. Because sometimes, the path to financial freedom looks foolish before it looks brilliant. Chapter 6. Let your results speak. There comes a point when explanation becomes unnecessary. Imagine someone telling everyone for 5 years that they are going to become successful. Now imagine someone who says almost nothing but spends 5 years building. One day, the results become visible. The business exists. The skills are developed. The investments have grown. The person has changed. No announcement is necessary. The evidence is already there. This is the power of results. Results don't need arguments. Results don't need permission. Results don't need applause. When you become obsessed with results, you stop wasting energy trying to convince people. You simply continue. You build. You improve. You adapt. You keep going. And eventually, the life you created becomes your answer. Chapter 7: Master the Silence of Patience. Wealth rarely grows overnight. But modern society constantly teaches us to expect immediate results. Immediate money. Immediate success. Immediate recognition. Immediate transformation. And when results don't come quickly, people quit. But wealth requires patience. A tree does not become strong because you stare at it. It becomes strong because it continues growing. Your financial life is similar. You save a little. You learn a little. You invest a little. You improve your skills. You make better decisions. Then you repeat. The results may seem small at first. But consistency can transform small actions into significant outcomes over time. The problem is that people often abandon the process before the process has had enough time to work. So develop the ability to wait. Not passive waiting. Productive patience. Keep learning while you wait. Keep building while you wait. Keep saving while you wait. Keep improving while you wait. You don't need to see immediate results to know that you're making progress. Sometimes the most important growth is happening where nobody can see it. Chapter 8: Protect your plans from negative people. Not everyone deserves access to your dreams. This doesn't mean you should hate people. It means you should understand that not everyone has the vision required to understand your destination. If you tell someone who has never built a business that you want to build one, they may only see the risks. If you tell someone who has never invested that you want to invest, they may only see the possibility of losing money. If you tell someone who is afraid of failure that you want to take a big step, they may transfer their fear onto you. Sometimes their intentions are good, but their perspective may still limit you. You don't have to argue with them. You don't have to convince them. You can simply remain quiet and continue learning. Your responsibility is not to make everyone understand your vision. Your responsibility is to build your future. Choose carefully who gets access to your dreams. Because the wrong voices can make you doubt the right path. Chapter 9: Build without needing to be seen. There is incredible power in doing things when nobody is watching. When you can work without applause, you develop discipline. When you can save without recognition, you develop self-control. When you can study without praise, you develop mastery. When you can continue without encouragement, you develop resilience. This is where real transformation happens. Imagine two people going to the gym. One only wants to post pictures. The other wants to become stronger. The first person needs people to notice. The second person needs results. Months later, the difference becomes obvious. This principle applies to everything. Don't build for likes. Don't save for praise. Don't learn for recognition. Don't work for applause. Build because you have decided that your future matters. There will be days when nobody encourages you. There will be days when nobody notices your sacrifice. There will be days when your progress feels invisible. Keep going. Because the work you do in silence can eventually create a life that speaks loudly. Chapter 10: Let silence become your wealth strategy. Silence is not the strategy by itself. It is the environment that allows powerful strategies to work. Use silence to think. Use silence to learn. Use silence to plan. Use silence to save. Use silence to observe. Use silence to build. Use silence to recover. Use silence to become disciplined. But remember this: silence without action is just inactivity. You cannot become wealthy simply by saying nothing. You must use your silence to create space for meaningful action. While others are talking, learn. While others are showing off, save. While others are chasing approval, build. While others are reacting, think. While others are quitting, remain consistent. And while others are trying to prove themselves, focus on becoming better. One day, people may ask, "How did you do it?" And you may realize that there was no single moment. It was thousands of quiet decisions. The money you didn't waste. The opportunities you patiently waited for. The skills you learned. The risks you carefully evaluated. The distractions you ignored. The habits you built. The sacrifices nobody saw. The mornings you kept working. The nights you kept learning. The times you said no. The times you remained patient. The times you chose your future over temporary pleasure. That is the silence that leads to wealth. Final message. Your life does not need to be announced. Your goals do not need everyone's approval. Your financial journey does not need an audience. You don't have to show people every step. You don't have to explain every decision. You don't have to prove that you're becoming successful. Just become successful. Build quietly. Learn quietly. Save quietly. Invest wisely. Work consistently. Stay patient. Protect your focus. And let your results speak. Because the world may not notice what you're doing today. But keep going. One day, they will notice what you have become. And when that day comes, you won't need to say much. Your life will speak for you. Silence is not weakness. Silence is focus. Silence is discipline. Silence is patience. Silence is preparation. And when combined with action, wisdom, and consistency, silence can become one of the most powerful forces behind your success. So stop trying to convince everyone. Stop trying to impress everyone. Stop announcing every move. Go back to your work. Go back to your goals. Go back to your discipline. Go back to building. Because sometimes, the greatest wealth is created in the moments when nobody is watching. Master your mind. Transform your life. And remember, build in silence. Let success make the noise.